Hello, I am glad to deliver this short speech on archaeology and local history on behalf of Indian Museum, Calcutta. Now, in this lecture, we are going to see what is archaeology, how it is useful to understand local history. Archaeology is defined as the study of the past using the material remains left over by the people of yesteryears. Archaeologists are like detectives. They go to the various areas of a country or region and search for archaeological remains. Archaeological remains are also called as material culture. They include stone tools, pottery fragments, bone fragments, and beads, or all other kinds of objects that were discarded by the past people. Actually, people use a variety of objects including organic and inorganic and fabricated material, and only few of them are preserved in the archaeological sites. For example, we have pottery fragments in large number in the archaeological sites of the historical period. In the case of prehistoric sites, we have stone tools and also natural artifacts like stones, boulders, cobbles, pebbles accumulated in the soil deposit. Archaeological remains are also called as archaeological records. In a sense, archaeological sites are records in which evidence related to the past societies is preserved. Archaeological sites are explored by archaeologists. Actually, archaeologists use two major methods of data collection. They go to the field and search for archaeological remains on the surface. This is called exploration or surface survey. They walk over the surface or they use scientific aids such as satellite images, aerial photographs, and other tools to identify archaeological sites on the ground. Sometimes you could use Google Earth maps also to locate archaeological sites on the ground. For example, all the archaeological sites preserve some kinds of traces in the form of their names. For instance, many of the archaeological sites have their uh, their important evidence in their name itself. For example, in South India, we have archaeological sites with the suffix of temple, fort, or mound. We can cite the example of Arikamedu. Medu in Tamil means mound. Similarly, we can cite a number of instances where the archaeological sites preserve the names. So, using the names by looking at the old maps or even Wikimapia, we can identify potential archaeological sites. Otherwise, the only way to identify archaeological site is surface exploration, or what archaeologists call as village to village survey. So, archaeologists take a bus or a car or any other form of vehicle. They go to the villages and search for archaeological remains. In India, most cases, all the temples have important archaeological remains. You find inscriptions, sometimes you find small pottery fragments around the temple sites that can help you to identify archaeological site. In some cases, if you go to the villages and explain to the villagers that you are looking for sites with pottery or sites with inscriptions or sculptures, they can give you lot of clues. Based on these clues, you can go and explore these sites. This is what archaeologists do for identifying archaeological sites. And the next method adopted by archaeologists is excavation. This is called archaeological excavation. In this, archaeologists select a site based on number of research problems. which means that they cannot just go and excavate. If they are excavating an archaeological site, they have to have a research problem. Why they are excavating the site? They go to an archaeological site and lay out the trenches after proper permission from government of India, and then select a site for excavation. They go, and archaeological excavation is a systematic method to recover archaeological evidence from the earth. Normally, archaeological sites have evidences related to the past societies in the form of sediments. These sediments are found on Earth's surface. Sometimes these sediments could be just 20 centimeter in thick, sometimes they could be 20 meters in thick. For example, the Harappan sites, they have large amount of sediments and soil accumulated over a large area. These sites could have soil deposits of more than 20 meter or even more. But normally sites have deposits according to the local terrain. Sometimes they could be 1 meter or 2 meter or more. Archaeologists systematically excavate, dig the soil from these sites and then sieve, use a metal sieve and recover the archaeological remains. Archaeologists recover ceramic objects, lithic objects, that is stone tools, stone flakes, bones, and also organic materials. Sometimes plant seeds are preserved in the form of charred grains. They are also recovered by the archaeologists. Archaeologists also recover the context. Archaeologists not only recover the objects, when they excavate a site, they identify various areas of the site. Sometimes people could have used some site as a hearth, as an oven, or as for making tools, or for making beads, or sometimes they have houses in the excavated site. So archaeologists carefully document the remains and mark them and record them. So archaeological excavation is considered as a documented destruction. Archaeologists systematically document, they write detailed notebooks like running commentary of cricket match. They write a detailed description of the materials they find, kind of soil, what is the nature of the soil, whether it is soft or hard or medium, or it has high moisture. So they describe everything. They also describe the materials that are found, context that are found, and also they give some kind of interpretation based on what they are excavating. And post excavation, they collect charcoal samples and various other samples for analyzing the excavated remains. That is why excavation is considered as a very systematic and scientific exercise, and it requires a lot of resources. And also for archaeological excavations, we need a lot of experts. So based on the data collected from the archaeological excavations, archaeologists interpret and then reconstruct the culture. So this is simply the process of archaeological excavation. Then based on the excavation and analysis, archaeologists come up with the interpretation. They define archaeological cultures and its age and the nature of activities undertaken in a particular culture. So that is how archaeologists proceed to undertake research. And then archaeology can be a very useful tool for understanding the local history. While archaeological excavation and explorations need to be conducted only by the professional, sometimes interested people with the guidance of archaeologists can also undertake some kind of exploration to identify archaeological sites. Sometimes it is very important that we focus on the facts more carefully, so we cannot come up with some kind of interpretation which is unscientific. That is why archaeological research has to be undertaken carefully. As part of local history, we can undertake a lot of research. For example, if you are not from archaeology or any other discipline, we can reconstruct the local history of a place. For example, if you are from Calcutta or Chennai or any major towns, you can go to the historical sites and also research on various communities. How was the city about 100 years ago? You can go and collect ethnographic information. You can go to the place where potters are living and collect information based on their memory. They may have some kind of information about their past as oral tradition. You can recover that kind of information, and also you can ask them if there are any archaeological site, if there are any sculptures, if there are any abandoned temples or mosques or any other remains in their vicinities. So as part of understanding local history, we can undertake archaeological surveys and document the stories or other information preserved in the memories of the people. But it is not necessary that the information we get from oral tradition is always true. Sometimes oral traditions are also created for various purposes. So we have to be very careful when we are interpreting the oral tradition. But archaeology can be undertaken in various parts of the landscapes where the sites are well preserved. In some cases, when people are digging for some purpose, they may disturb the archaeological sites, and at that point of time, professional archaeologists interfere and recover the archaeological remains. For a common people to undertake archaeological operations, it is important that they have proper training, and also for undertaking archaeological excavation, government permission is necessary. However, people can explore the sites that have temples or sculptures. They can document and publish it. Many people in India, out of interest, they go to the temples, they go to the sites that have sculptures, and then they photograph and publish them. So that kind of research can also be undertaken, and people who are interested in archaeology, they can write a short note, or they can bring to the notice of archaeologists on the existence of such small finds. Therefore, apart from the professional archaeologists, local people and also interested persons can also contribute to archaeological research. That is why archaeology can be a very useful tool for understanding the local history. Sometimes the important finds of archaeology, they are brought to the notice of archaeologists by the common people, because it is not possible for archaeologists to go and explore each and every corner of the country. But local people who have a lot of information on the archaeological sites or the sculptures, they can pass on the information to the professional archaeologists so that they can continue their scientific study. So archaeological research or archaeological studies can also contribute to the understanding of the students. Students can be given small assignment to document a potter's workshop or old temples in that area. Students can be asked about to write short assignments on them so that they can develop original research skills and also the skill of writing and describing archaeological site. In that way, archaeology can be used for the benefit of the public and also for imparting education at the school level.